Hello, my friends. Once in a while, I feel like this energy is like, what's going on here? And today's one of those days. So I want to just start out saying, like, something is completely wrong. And I think we all know it. This is not how life is meant to be. The way we are living it, most people, it's not how it is supposed to be. It is not how the divine expresses itself. This has to stop, and it has to stop certainly with me and hopefully with you too, where we must find something in us that really knows that this is not right, what's going on, the way the world is functioning, the way everybody is just on this hamster wheel, trying to make money, trying to survive, trying to be loved. There's something completely wrong with this. And I think you know that, right? When you just check in with yourself, like, yeah, that is not right. Just because it's always been like that, or at least we were born into it, we're used to it, everybody seems to accept it, and somewhere inside we go like, something's wrong here. Something's just plain wrong and we don't know what to do about it. So, I'm going to share a little bit today about how I am dealing with that for a long time. Okay. And for me, it's been like, I do not want to live like that anymore. Simply, and it is felt so deeply down in my core. And it's almost like come hell or high water. I do not want to live like that anymore. It has never fulfilled me. It's never made me happy. It's almost always kept me in some state of, anxiety or drive or, feeling that I have to do something to survive. And it is awful. Do you agree with that? Or do you still enjoy it? I will admit there is a time where there is some sense of enjoyment in, getting somewhere and becoming successful and becoming good at what we do, whatever it is. That's fine. There is a time for that. But my my time is up, and this has been going on for many years actually, and it's just been a slow dropping, letting go, not engaging anymore, and just fully giving my life over to the divine. Be fully soul led. Be in tune with my soul connection and learn how to move or flow with that. And this is not something I learned overnight, and it's something I am still learning. But my goodness, it is so much better than living in that crazy programmed matrix that we have given our life to. If you if you believe in God, if I can use that word, it's a common one. If you have some kind of a sense that there is something, bigger than what we see here, taste, touch, or smell, that there is something divine that runs the universe, then you must also wonder, like, well, why is it looking so horrible out there? Not when you're in nature. I know that that's a great place to tune into the divine, but generally. And do you really believe that God is allowing this or creating this or making this happen or denying you, all of us, the fullness of the divine itself, the fullness, the fulfillment, the love, the connection, the peace? This is what we can call that the qualities of the divine. These are the qualities that we all long for, and there is a good reason for that. It's not pie in the sky. It is not like, oh, you want too much, you should be grateful for what you have. That's all fine, but that will not get you into heaven. It keeps you stuck in the matrix where you are trying to make the best of it. Well, what do you think? Are you happy now that you've made the best of it? Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel you've done your best and you can't do anymore? I think that's where it comes to a lot, where we come simply to the end of the road and it's like, that's it. I don't want to do this anymore. And there are a lot of people who've come to that, they've sold everything they had, bought a trailer and went on the road, traveling and experiencing life from a whole new angle. So I know we're all still attached, or we still all believe that the only way we can survive, just think about the word survive, that the only way we can survive is when we have enough money. And do you really believe that God is so stingy and so mean that even though the divine is the fullness of everything, nothing missing, but he, she, it is withholding it from you and I and us. And we need to work very hard in order to just get enough to get by. These are the little metaphors that I think can be very powerful. We go like, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But what do I do then? How else can I do? How else will I survive? How else will I pay my bills? Yeah, exactly. And those questions, those beliefs, that shows how deeply we are programmed into the matrix where we cannot even imagine another way. How am I going to survive if I don't do that? If I don't push myself and work way harder than I want to, and et cetera, et cetera. So that shows how deeply those beliefs go. And it takes, well, it certainly takes that feeling of like, F it. I've had enough. I don't want to do it anymore. But now what? And in my experience, I had to get to that. It didn't happen like overnight. It happened overnight with one specific area. And that was about the marketing to get my work out, to get it out in the world. And I just like, I cannot do this anymore. I just cannot do it anymore. If that means, I'm gonna lose everything and be homeless, right? That's where the mind takes us to the worst case scenario. And then that's how it is. I'm not going to do that anymore. So that was one of my epiphany moments. I've had many of them over the years. But that one was a big one because I stopped driving myself, letting Pernilla, the separate self, think that she had to do everything to survive, to pay the bills. My friends, this is how we all live. I think it's really important that we take a good look at that and feel inside, because that's where it's all coming from. Feel it. First feel the fear and how real that feels. And then also feel like that, hell no. Feel that energy that wants something else. And I know that we don't know how that's going to look. Same here. But I was willing to say, okay, you just have to show me. You just have to show me. And that's a number of years ago. And it was not easy. I I have done a video on that a while ago. I was hacked and lost most of my crypto that I thought would be my little nest. I got scammed. I had my savings account emptied out. And I've had a few more things where I just lost hugely, big, big stuff. And what it did to me was just realize, like, okay, I was also holding on to that and holding on to that. And there's nothing wrong with having a nest. It's nice to have a nest, right? You can kind of lean into it. But as these things were just taken away or disappearing, I just went deeper and deeper in the knowing that I don't want to live depending on something outside anymore. And if that means, again, if I lose everything and I lost a lot, then so be it. I will not do it. Sometimes life gives you little reflections like, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you don't want to go out and try hard again? 100% sure. So that's where we come to live from a place of from a place of surrender and learning to trust. Because when you do that, you're not trusting yet. You're kind of hoping, right? Like, show me what, is it going to work? And we just keep moving through all that. And we just keep surrendering. It's like, I don't know. You got to show me. You got to show me. You got to show me. So in that period, there's this whole thing about really seeing how the world is just so driven. And for a long time, and I can still feel that little suggestion at times, if I wasn't doing much, I was not doing hardly anything except just my life, taking care of my life, my garden, my whatever, just how you live. And there was this like, oh my God, when people say, so Pernilla, what are you going to do today? There was like, um, nothing. And it was a little scary to admit that for a while. And then it becomes more okay. And in that realization for me, it's been like, I want to live fully connected to life. And that seems to be the most important thing for me. I want to be in that divine flow. And if I want to be in this flow, I have to let go of everything else that is outside of the flow. And I want to learn to trust and to relax in the flow. And then there's the period of where you keep thinking like, are things coming to me? Is it going to happen? And I haven't seen huge things happen, to be honest with you. But things just move along. I find little ways here to make things work and just like following my inner. But I haven't seen some of these things that happen to people where, suddenly then, this whole amazing thing happens when they let go. Haven't seen that happen, but I have seen a deeper and deeper resting in and as my divine flow. In that process, I really feel that I am consciously removing my energy from the matrix. And that seems more important than anything. I'm not interested in improving the matrix or helping people in the matrix or saving people. Doesn't mean I won't help. Absolutely. If something is in front of me, if a friend is in need, I'll be the first one to show up. But it's not something I feel like, oh, I have to help or I have to do something. It's like, no, it's like it's just a natural flow. And so living as that And again, you may disagree. I always tell you, I can just speak from my own experience. In that, I literally take my energy out of the matrix. And it's almost like I'm forging a new path, which is already here, but I'm stepping onto a new path, which is the divine flow as this expression here. And then I'll see what happens. But what I do know is that I'm completely done with the matrix on an emotional, mental level. I'm still physically involved because you have to, right? You have to pay your mortgage, you have to pay, all that stuff. But emotionally and mentally, in order to try and make things happen, or I'm done. My energy does not belong there anymore. My energy belongs here as me, as who I am authentically. I think being fully authentic, and that's something we learn. I've done a lot of videos on that and how to really become fully yourself and allowing all the layers where we have denied ourselves to just melt through them. And then we come down as being fully authentic. In that, there is no fear of what other people think about you, about me. There's just a natural being. It's just like, well, I'm just me. It's so simple, but it's an ongoing process because it keeps deepening and it feels like this flow, this path that I'm on and have been for a while. It just, somehow it just seems more real and more alive, and I feel more connected to the earth and the rhythm of the earth. And my cats, I think I shared recently about one of my cats seems to be dying. She's eating again. I don't know where it's going to go, but just following her and doing my garden, and just feeling into the naturalness of nature, of the earth. That is so different than the matrix. I mean, this is an invitation if you want to. If you want to explore it with yourself, you want to explore it with me, there will be a lot of layers of fear. You can't avoid them. They're going to be there because the fear is the matrix. Remember, the matrix is fear, and you live in a matrix. So you will have to encounter the fear and kind of get to a point where you're done with it. It's like, no, I'm just going to be me. I'm going to be me. It's like, I'm going to be me. I want to find out what is me. That's the energy we put into our authenticity. And in that authenticity, we become one with our divine flow. And then, who knows where it's going to go? That doesn't mean there might not be obstacles along the way, but there will be something inside, at least for me, where I know, like, no, I am exactly where I need to be, who I need to be, what I need to do. And all that doubting and pushing and whatever it is I'm not interested. This is coming more and more alive. And honestly, there's nothing else that I want. And I know it's the same for all of us. But until we get some kind of a feeling of that, a sense of what that is, it's very hard to believe that because we can only believe what we are seeing with our senses, right? So we need to kind of step off that matrix from a place of, I'm done. I'm not going to feed you anymore. I'm going to let myself be fed from within. That's my invitation. I hope you'll join me.